What you must have a strategy that has been successful over this, all these decades.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of substitute for hard work, and nowadays seem to work just as hard as ever because my memory's not as good as it was. I think that happens with everybody as they get older, so I need memory joggers. I need to watch videos and re-watch them. I don't sit down every night and watch all the videos from a day's racing. I used to, but there was just far too much racing to try and do that and have a life as well. So what I tend to do is watch the videos when I'm at the races, watch the replays, and then catch up as and when I'm doing the cards. And of course you can do that now with videos on different websites. So I found that useful, but I'm aware that everybody else can watch the videos and it's harder to get an edge. So you've just got to work harder, and going racing is helpful because I can see things in 3 dimensions, things out of picture, things in the paddock, things that people don't generally see when they're sitting at home, and that I find that helpful. And I've got into the routine of going racing nearly every day, so 4 or 5 days a week. So, and I find that a stimulation to my mental processes for doing a race, and I find it pays off in the long term, certainly.
So we're at Wolverhampton now, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you've got a good opinion of all-weather racing, where some people have a little less.
Yeah, yes, I do. I mean, a lot of it is low grade. A lot of it is akin to dog racing that people might think, but I find it's easier in the winter, from my point of view, to get a handle on the form when there are only the all-weather races. I started off largely as a national hunt punter, and for various reasons, I've gravitated towards flat racing. And through the winter, I go all-weather racing. I've found that I can make it pay, whereas for a while, national hunt racing, I wasn't able to make it pay, and that's one of the reasons for the switch. The other reason is doing the work. To watch videos of national hunt racing takes 4 times or 5 times as long as to watch the flat racing. So that's another reason to stick to the flat. I think that mainly it's trying to specialise because there's so much racing, and that's what I've had to do.
And are you a meticulous person? Do you keep records of every bet?
Well, I do, but of course when things start to go wrong, it's very difficult to write the minus on the spreadsheet, but it is important to do that, I think. And overall, you've got to keep records as much as you can, and be true to yourself, and not try and make stories up about how much you're winning when you're winning, and forget about the losses.
So that was my next question. How do you cope mentally with a losing run?
It's difficult, and I think the very, very best punters just treat the money as a commodity. But it's one of the reasons that I like to be in the action all the time, because I feel that if I'm betting 4 or 5 races a day, I only need to back one winner, and I'm probably going to be ahead on the day. And I don't have very long losing runs in terms of time, whereas if I were having large bets once a week, I would find the pressure unbearable. I think I just haven't got the mentality. I think the very best punters don't even think about the money. They just want to try and get on as much as they can, and I'm not like that. I'm a fairly small punter in the rich scheme of racing, and I just want to make a few quid.
So do other sports figure in your portfolio as making money betting?
Not properly, no. I have a few recreational bets on football, occasionally cricket, but no, I would say not. I think you've got to be really steeped in it to try and make that pay.
When I was doing my research, Eddie, it was going back probably about 9 years ago now, you said that the betting ring was in its death throes. Still going. Do you still believe that?
I do, really. I think it's the advent of Betfair and other betting exchanges and digital revolution, if you like, in betting terms, has made it very difficult for on-course bookmakers, and the prices are allied very much to what's happening off course and not on course, and I think they must be struggling, and there are a dwindling amount of people actually coming racing to have a bet in cash, and that's understandable. I very, very rarely venture into the betting ring to have a bet, and I think it's sad in terms of what the atmosphere created by the betting rings has given to racing over the years, that it is dwindling. Of course, the big days, they're going to make it pay. The Royal Ascots, the Cheltenhams, the Aintries. I think there's still there's still they're their sort of where the bookmakers are likely to make the money to pay for the off days during the rest of the year. I think it's tough for them. I also think that the on-course bookmakers haven't really moved with the times in terms of digitalising their service, and that probably has been to their detriment. But that's a whole new argument, and it would take hours to talk about.
So, as a successful punter, what medium do you use to get on? How do you bet?
I'm generally betting I do have a few bets with a few accounts which are gradually get eroded over the years. If you win, it's probably quite difficult to get on. But I do have a few bookmakers who still accommodate me, and I tend to bet quite late into betting exchanges.
Okay, just changing track slightly. You have been known as a journalist in one way or another throughout your horse racing career. Do you think the print media now neglect racing, and why do you think they neglect racing, if you do agree, as opposed to football, rugby, cricket, and all the other things?
Yeah, I think it might be cyclical. It might be just that football is so readily available to the public now, and it's a much more simple sport than racing. It's just, can you put the ball into the net? And it's on Sky every day. It's on the satellite TV channels every single day. There's a football match, and we have racing every day. But you have to really graft to get a grasp of racing. I don't think you can really attract people to racing by dumbing it down, by changing the terminology, by taking the racing language away. I think that's good. In a way, it's good that racing has idiosyncratic ways that people have to learn if they want to get into it, and it's a grown-up sport, and I think trying to dumb it down is wrong. I don't know how you attract more people to racing, but the success of for instance, the Cheltenham Festival tells me there's still a great interest in racing. As far as media coverage is concerned, it's never been something that the racing or sports editors or newspaper editors have been very keen on, because it takes up a lot of space, and it is not a minority sport, but it's down the table from sports like racing, like football.
Talking of football, do you go and watch Fulham as much as you tweet about them?
Yeah, I still go and watch Fulham quite a lot. I mean, Fulham will never win anything; they never have won anything, but they give Fulham supporters a great deal of pleasure. And of course, when you win, and you don't win very often, it means a lot more than if you support Manchester United or Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea or now Manchester City. They win every week, nearly.